Hi everybody, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make my teeny tiny mini snowflake. And I recently shared this little pattern on my Instagram, so do check out my Instagram at Happy Berry Crochet on Instagram. And I share some little sneak previews of what I get up to and little projects. So to make this little snowflake, you can use any yarn that you like, anything at all. And I'm just happening to be using, I think I used a DK, a light worsted weight yarn, so yarn weight of 3 for these little ones. It's got a little bit of lurex in there, a little bit of sparkle in there as well. I'm going to use this yarn, which I just found in my stash, so another little sparkly yarn. And with that, I'm going to stick with my 2.5mm crochet hook. You can use any hook size that you want to with your yarn, so just go mad. And the first thing we're going to do is create a little chain 4 loop. So do a little slip knot to begin. And this pattern's uber simple. There's snowflakes over there. So chain 4 to begin. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 4, and then find your first chain, put your hook into your first chain, put your hook into there, bring the yarn through the first chain and straight through the loop on your hook to do a little slip stitch. And that creates a little loop of your chains joined at the beginning and the end. And if you open it up in the middle, you will see a hole. Don't confuse it with your first chain hole. That's actually your stitch, your slip stitch. You need to find your first chain hole. So where's our center? There it is. That's our first chain hole. That's the center of our little loop. We're going to work 5 single crochet into the center of that loop. So in UK terminology, that's a double crochet. So we're going to go straight into the center of this little 4 chain loop. Hook into there. Bring the yarn through the middle, and then just wrapping it around the chains, we do a single crochet. We'll do 5 of those, so that's 1, and then we're going to go back into the middle again. 2, and if you're unsure where the hole is, just find where your stitches are coming from and place your hook. Back in there again, 3, and one more, another one actually, 3, 4, so we need 5. Concentrating, 4 and 5. So 5 single crochet in a 4 chain loop. You can use a magic circle as well if you want to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just pull your tail in. It should bring in that center hole. If it doesn't come in the center hole, it probably means you've worked into your first chain or into the wrong area somewhere. So then we're going to find our first single crochet that we made, and we're going to put our hook into there. And bring the yarn through that first single crochet and straight through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. Okay, so it should look a little something like that. It should have a stitch count of 5 because we want 5 points on our little snowflake. Okay, so then we're going to create the points, and to do that, the first thing we do is chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to chain 5, and we're going to slip stitch into our middle chain, so our 3rd chain from our hook. So don't count the loop on your hook. There's your first one, 1, 2, 3. So it's the middle one. Find that middle chain, that 3rd one. Put your hook into there and do a slip stitch. So bring the yarn through that chain and then bring it straight through the loop on your hook. That creates a little picot on the end. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch into that same 3rd chain, that same middle chain again. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to chain 2 again, 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch into that same chain again, that same 3rd chain. So it creates 3 little picots on the end. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch where all of these are coming from, the one we just slip stitched into to join the round. So go back into there and do a slip stitch. Okay. And that is your first little snowflake point. We're going to do 4 more of those to get the other ones, but the first thing to do is we're just going to slip stitch in the next stitch. So slip stitch in the next stitch and do the same thing again. We chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you chain 5, find the middle chain, the one in the middle, put your hook into there, and do a slip stitch, so straight for the loop on your hook. Then we chain 2, 1 and 2, and slip stitch into that same chain again. Then chain 2, do the same thing again, chain 2, slip stitch into there again, then chain 2 again, but slip stitch into the same stitch where all of these are coming from, so this one down here. Slip stitch on the main, and there's our second one. Slip stitch, there's our second point. And then we slip stitch in the next stitch to do the same thing again. So slip stitch over to the next stitch and do the same thing again. So chain 5, slip stitch in the third chain, so the one in the middle, chain 2, and if you're new to crochet, do check out my beginner tutorials and come back to these if you're struggling. Slip stitch in that same chain, chain 2, slip stitch in that third chain again, chain 2, then slip stitch on the main. Then slip stitch in the next stitch for your next one. Just repeat that until you've got 5 points. Okay, so there we go, and then when you get to the end, just find the first stitch, the first single crochet that you slip stitched into, and just slip stitch over. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but there we go, there's our little finished snowflake. So what you can do is get some scissors. You can create a little loop if you want to, so you can hang it onto a tree. I'm just going to cut my end, just pull that through, get a yarn needle and sew that to the back. to finish my snowflake. So there we go. I'll just leave that there. So there we go. There is a very quick and easy, simple snowflake. And like I said, the written version of this is on my Instagram, one of my pictures on there. It's a really short little pattern. But I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.